All right. Hello, hello. So, where
Hello.
are we?
We are in Tenterfield.
Yep, we are in Tenterfield. So, we're also doing a camping vibes video in parallel to this as well. But yeah, we wanted to sit down and have a chat about the last week or so and give some updates on what we've been doing, how life has been, the good news that we have at the moment as well, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. So, where should we
Yeah.
start?
Well, we woke up this morning
Yep.
and we were thinking about what to do with the day, and then we just kind of thought about going camping.
Yep.
And it's been something that's been on our mind for a long time now, but we've always thought that, oh, we need to plan it, in advance, and we need to like structure it and make sure we know where to stay and
Yeah.
everything. But this day we just decided, forget it. We just need to go and figure it out. And that's what we did.
Yeah, yeah. I'm one of those kind of careful, methodical people that uh, really want to make sure that I've sort of thought of everything when we go and do something like camping. Like the car's got plenty of petrol. We've just had it serviced. Everything's good. The oil's been changed, all that kind of thing. And we have this really nice philosophy that you may have seen in sort of like the third or fourth podcast or around that kind of point. So I'm sort of like the captain of the ship in our relationship, and you're the wind in the sails. So this morning I just kind of mumbled, "Oh yeah, maybe we should go camping." So picking a destination, essentially, the captain picks a destination. And then I was looking at places we could go, and I thought, Tenterfield's actually really, really nice. It would be nice to kind of go there. But then I sort of, as the captain, need that wind in the sails, which is like, oh, we haven't really thought about it or planned it or whatever. And then you sort of just started packing
Yeah.
and started putting things in the bag and everything, and just grabbed some clothes and grabbed all the sort of camping stuff that we bought a while ago and haven't even used. And yeah, within not even like half an hour, we were just sort of in the car and we were already out of there. So we didn't waste any time, which was really great. Managed to go to Tabulam first to this really lovely little cafe, get some really, really good food there, get a feed there, and yeah, get here with enough time to even go and see a couple of vintage stores, emporiums, and go to this lovely little cafe down the road as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's so good to be sort of more inland. We're really not
Yeah.
that kind of, beachy kind of people. We don't
Nah.
like being where the crowds are.
Yeah.
But just like, going to these small picturesque places where you can meet the locals and just, chill, and it's peaceful rather than stressful.
Yeah.
Because, we don't want to stress. Who wants to? So
No, and I
Yeah.
mean these lovely little towns, like they're little kind of mining towns and stuff, and they have very proud heritage. So you'll see the Australian flags kind of around the houses and stuff when you come down here, and there's nothing, remotely sort of, I think, discriminatory about it. It's just like people are really happy with the area. Everything's really clean. There's no graffiti. There's no trash anywhere. Like we're just sitting right in front of the Tenterfield Shire Council building. It's in great condition. You walk down the main streets, it's sort of like a boulevard. Everything's clean. The stores are really nice. People are super friendly. And it's just that kind of inland sort of, like yeah, just kind of Western vibe.
Yeah,
It's
like
really nice. It's very, very different from the sort of Byron Babylonian
yeah.
culture, where everything's kind of out there and it's like super freaky and sort of I don't know, people are just kind of yeah, really trying to stand out. This is so much more sort of village vibey, which is really lovely, and you feel really safe here, which is really great. Yeah.
You can tell that people are, it's quite humble place.
Yeah.
And also that people are really grateful for being here, because
Yeah.
you can see like they're not trashing it or destroying it in any way, but it's well taken care of, like you
Yeah.
said as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really calm and peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, some of these little villages and towns are quite poor, like at least financially, but the condition of them is still really good, and they really, really take care of what they do have. So whatever development the council gives them and so on, they take care of it. Which is I think really, really fantastic. It's like I mean, like if you're from Tenterfield and you're watching, like round of applause. Like it's really nice. It's great to see the community here really taking care of the facilities and of each other, I think, which is really, really lovely. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Indeed.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, then we have some other good updates as well to share.
Right, yeah, for sure, yeah. So the last couple of weeks we've been talking about sort of the work situation and waiting and waiting and waiting for the next step in this interview process with this company. And it's been a really anxious time, like I take my biblical male role very seriously in terms I'm meant to be the provider. Being unemployed is really not very fun. And makes me feel very much like I'm just sort of spinning my wheels, not really doing anything constructive, and having a lot of days in a week to kind of feel anxious and to for the enemy to kind of like attack me in different ways and stuff. But finally, day before yesterday, I got an email after kind of having the bravery and the support, thank you very much, to contact this friend of mine or acquaintance of mine who's actually the reference that I had for this position. And he was very happy and very humble and very supportive to reach out and kind of nudge things along and sort of check what's going on. And the response I got back, or the reason I got back that there was such a long delay, was funnily enough about as good as you could ever possibly get for a reason why I'd been waiting sort of 13, 14 days. And that was that the person I need to have an interview with had gone from San Francisco to Europe on a business trip, and the hiring manager had just relocated from Switzerland back to Japan. So they had both gone sort of 10 hours in the future, and obviously these two people are the two major stakeholders in terms of me being able to get the interview and stuff that we've been doing. So yeah, it's been a really, really kind of interesting kind of thing, because obviously I was feeling like, oh look, it's been so long, and the more I thought about it, the more I kind of started to obsess a little bit about the fact, I started to try and find, or not try and find, but I sort of naturally found concerns in how the previous meetings had gone and so on and so forth. But yeah, God willing, this will be the last meeting now. So yesterday I just got the final time time slot for the meeting, or not final time slot for the meeting, but what I hope, God willing, is the final meeting that I have to take. And yeah, stay tuned, because I guess the next podcast we'll be doing will hopefully have the culmination and capitulation of everything that I sort of have been going through for the last more than a month now.
Yeah, hopefully by then we'll have an actual proper answer and plan going forward.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really hoping that I'll have sort of relocation plans and stuff as well. So yeah, and obviously, our channel is Faith and Forest, not Faith and Babylon or Faith and Tokyo,
Faith and City,
etc. Yeah, but there's a lot of content I think we'll be able to do if we do ever get to Japan, God willing. We do need to be somewhere near my workplace, but we'll definitely endeavor to find somewhere peaceful and hopefully nature-esque, near nature, to be able to keep things kind of close to God's creation. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think just this experience over this past week, it just shows how God is in control, even when we start to kind of get worried or start start thinking oh, maybe it's not going to work out. And even for me, just the other day, I was just feeling I just want to go to Japan now, and I just I just want to have an answer as well from this job and everything. But and that was before you got the interview, interview time and everything. So but now God gave us a bit more information, a bit more of a lead. We're still in the process. It still looks really hopeful, and we'll see where it ends up. But God has everything under control.
Yeah, I mean, His timing is perfect, and it's easy to say that obviously now. When if you go back to the last kind of one or two podcasts, I've been feeling pretty dejected and very much like a reed tossed in the wind. And I mean, that's the truth. It's been really difficult because I've had a lot riding on this, and I've tried really hard to give every shred of it up to God and just really keep it just kind of look, if you want us to be there, we'll be there. If you don't, we won't, and to not try to have too much invested in this, oh, it should be such a great testimony, if I just from God, I just kind of walked past, it was told to walk past this cafe, and I walked into this Seventh-day Adventist church and then spoke to this guy and became almost immediately friends and got the reference. And then suddenly we just went to Japan, just from that, I just don't believe in such coincidences. It's just, there's no such thing as a coincidence like this.
Yeah.
Let alone any coincidence, I think, in the kingdom of heaven, But yeah, in any case, the fact of the matter is, it's been a tough process. We like to sort of be honest with you guys in these videos. Being a Christian doesn't mean that you're free from anxiety and you're free from impatience and you're free from being tempted by the enemy. You know, you're free from your sort of coping mechanisms, but what you do have is an escape. And if you just give me 1 second, if I keep talking,
Yeah.
I've had so much to thank God for in terms of giving me an escape these last 2 weeks. So these last 2 weeks, I've been waiting for a sort of like a long-term answer or a more definitive answer. I've just kind of, we have you and I kind of, again, together have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the Shire and where we're sort of staying. You know, it's really beautiful, it's really nice. But for me, on the one hand, like, I'll just speak about myself for a second, it's very cabin fevery. I really, really love where we're staying. I love the cabin. It's so beautiful. We woke up this morning, it was just like heaven. You know, it was so pretty, so nice, perfect temperature inside. You know, humidity, everything. You just couldn't get better. Like, you know, like you couldn't dial things down better yourself. But when you, my partner, go to work 5 days a week, which is not the biblical way, that the woman goes to work 5 days a week, the man stays home with his brain, you know, at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, it can get very cabin fevery. So again, all glory to God. I've just been getting out. I've been running off to, like, you know, a cafe somewhere and just, like, you know, writing and writing and writing, working on this game, just pumping out the story, getting it all out of my head, and just trying, like, so hard to focus on being constructive. And I've
been so impressed by the progress.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've had brush cutting to do, I've had mowing to do, I've had planting to do, and I've just been like, I need to get out of this house and get out of here, because it's just like, you know, it's not good for man to be alone, as Genesis said. You know, man should not be alone. You know, so yeah, and I mean, like, I own it. I own that, and you know, being a Christian though means that I've had, and I truly can say, God is my witness, I truly can say I've had the Holy Spirit just say to me, get up, get in the car, and go to town, or go for a drive to some nearby town/village and go to a coffee store and just take your laptop and just go and work. And then I've gone and done that, and just the Spirit has been able to just pour out of me with this game. You know, like, I've written thousands of words a day, like thousands and thousands. Like, the transcript takes forever to go through, and quality over quantity. But the point I'm trying to say is that there's been an escape, you know, and I just can't imagine what it would have been like if, you know, like, again, I wasn't a believer and I was going through this position. I would have eaten my fingernails down to the bone.
Yeah.
I would have pushed things in ways that I would be so, you know, ashamed of, you know. I would truly be even more so my own worst enemy, really. Yeah.
And I think just one thing, I think it's our good friend that said this, but like, walking as a Christian, you'll never be free from temptation, but God will always provide an escape. And we certainly have seen that this week. And also, another thing that's really beautiful about our walk with Christ is that the longer we walk with Him, the more we can look back on our past experiences and remember that God has led me before, and He can definitely lead me again. He hasn't, you know, lost any capability, because God is always the same, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And, you know, for me, like, you know, I can just look back and see how God led me to find you and to prepare me for marrying, you know, this wonderful man, and, you know, all these things in my life that He's led, and He's led you as well, and us together, like, you know, and we can look back on that and we can gain some faith from that. And also, like, you know, this experience that we're going through now is going to be, you know, something that we can take from in the future to get more faith, and to understand that whenever we're facing insecurity, or we're facing, like, you know, uncertainty, we know that God has led us this far, and He won't stop.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and also we were sort of saying in the car, you know, like, we have sort of different part of the testimony, essentially, that, you know, you've been waiting for me and stuff, and in a way, like, I've been waiting for, you know, for you in my own way and stuff as well, you know, even if I didn't have the Spirit. When I finally did get the Spirit, God really got to work, like, really, really quickly, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's It is really painful though, waiting. I think for both of us, when you were younger and also for me, even just kind of recently and everything.
Mm.
But the main thing is that it has been a really beautiful testimony. It's been an incredible testimony. And if we ever get to Japan, I know a lot of people would say, don't say if, say when. But I like to say if, it's
That's what
always,
the Bible says.
yeah, sure, yeah. Um, Essentially, if we ever get to Japan, I think it's going to be an incredible testimony. And yeah, we were also talking in the car as well, driving here, that this gospel game project is just going to become very much like the other center of our lives apart from Christ, essentially. We're going to do this for God. And I think, you know, I think it's honestly going to be such a worthy project, and we're going to really receive such a blessing in doing it, that it's going to be worth leaving the forest for a period, regardless of how long, to really just get it well and truly off the ground, connect with the people that we need to and stuff, because there's just so many connections. There's so much networking you can do in Japan in general.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But for now, basically, we're going to just find a place to camp. Don't know if we'll go to a camping site or something. They tend to be very expensive. I mean, I found one or two of them for about $10, but then once you unfortunately try to book them, it's basically more like $25. And you've got $5 in there, which is your GST, your tax, and then you've got your sort of $10 worth of insurances and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, obviously we can afford that, but it might also just be nice to find a beaten track off the road somewhere and just drive down there. As long as it's a state forest, it's legal. And yeah, just sort of see where we can pitch the tent.
Yeah.
And so on. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, there's still a fair bit of sunlight left and a bit of time to figure out what we're going to do. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So I guess
Thank you.
we'll leave it there, and yeah, look out for the vibes vid that we have. Make sure you catch that one. We'll try and get some more good quality camping stuff on there. So yep. Peace. God bless.